The Chevy Colorado is sort of a neat truck. It's a small, mid-sized pickup truck, and it's good for, you know, just typical hauling jobs and whatnot. But the ZR2 package makes it a mean off-roader. This is a 2020 Chevy Colorado with the ZR2 package Midnight Edition, and we're going to be taking a look at here on today's review. A big thanks to Kuhn Chevy Buick GMC for letting us take a look at this vehicle, and also a big thanks to you all for watching. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing to Gas Guzzlers. So let's get into it. Let's begin at the front of the Colorado here on this rainy day. Really the main story up here is the bumper. You have this really aggressive bumper, and Chevy really cut it down a lot and really angled it up, which increases the approach angle of this truck. So that means you're going to be able to go up steeper grades and obstacles without banging up your front bumper. They also made really deep cutouts for the wheels right here, so that is a very cool off-roading feature. You have a nice ZR2 badge up here on your grille. That looks very nice. You have your blacked out Chevy bow tie. Remember, this is the Midnight Edition, so you get this cool black paint. Not too much to say about this. This version of the Colorado has been around for a long time. So it looks very familiar. I like the grille. I like how these little black pieces sort of curve outward. I think that's a very cool look. And then also your headlights right here are very old-fashioned. They are halogen. So they don't look that sharp, but again, you're not really caring about looks on this truck. You're caring about functionality, and that's what you're getting with this bumper. You also do get a very cool sort of hood bulge right here. This is something, it's supposed to mimic the Camaro almost, and it just looks very neat. I really do like the aggressive, almost Baja truck-like look of the front of this vehicle. Looking here at the side of the Colorado, the first difference you may notice between this and a regular Colorado is the ZR2 is lifted by 2 inches, which is going to give you about 9 inches of ground clearance. Another interesting fact about this compared to a regular Colorado is this has wider off-road tires. So the Colorado is actually widened by 3.5 inches. So Chevy added these little bumpers on the side to come out over the tires. So these little fender flares right here. So that's something kind of neat to know, that they are really making substantial changes to this truck. There's not too much else to know about the side of it. You do get these 17-inch black aluminum rims that are part of that Midnight Edition package, which is around $3,000. Other than that, it's just a sharp-looking truck. I really like the side profile. I really like the window right here and how it kind of kinks up at the back. I think this is a good look, even if it's been around for a while. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's bad. It is a very aggressive looking truck, even from the side. And one thing that's really cool is just the amount of mechanical stuff you can see happening from the side of this vehicle. That's very apparent in the back, where you can see some of the linkage to the motor, and you can also see the crazy suspension that this truck gets. So we'll show you a clip of that. It looks very cool, very aggressive, and this truck really just looks very rugged and muscular from the side. I do want to make a note that this ZR2 does not have the bar back here that some of them get. Now, for those of you that don't know, you can get the ZR2 with some metal bars back here. This one does not have them. Just a fun fact about that bar is that the lights on it are so bright that they are not actually street legal. But again, that attests to the off-roading capability of this truck. That's what it's made for. Another fun fact is that bar blocks your third brake light. And because of that, they had to add a third brake light into the bar because it is covering this third brake light right here. So just a neat little fact about that bar, if you see it on another ZR2, that is in fact stock. Looking around the back of the Colorado, the story is pretty much the same. A lot of the same looks, but still very, very nice. You do have your high up bumper right here, which is going to give you a good departure angle, so you don't have to worry about scraping up your truck that much. You have your blacked out Chevy bow tie. This is the V6 model. We'll talk a bit more about your powertrain up front before we move inside. Not too much else to say about it. Your taillights they do show the age of this truck. Nothing fancy about them, just old, not that nice looking. But again, that's not really what you're looking for when you're buying a ZR2 Colorado. Opening your tailgate right here, it is damped. You're gonna find about a 61-inch bed in this vehicle right here. It does have about 1,500 pounds of payload capacity with this V6 engine, and you do have your spray and bed liner in this one. I like that it says ZR2 right here. I think that's a very cool feature. Again, This is just sort of an old-fashioned, ready to off-road truck, so very cool. And this bed, it's not a big bed. You're not going to be using this truck for hauling, but if you're in a pinch and you need to haul something of a significant size you can't fit in an SUV or whatever, this will still do just fine. And here under the engine, we have the 6-cylinder gasoline engine. You can get about 308 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque out of this. That's going to give you about 7,000 pounds of towing capacity and about 1,557 pounds of hauling capacity. Now, you're going to get about 17 miles to the gallon city and about 24 on the highway. If you do want to up the capacity on this vehicle, you can go for a diesel, which is going to give you 7,700 pounds of towing capacity. But for the ZR2, this V6 is definitely going to give you plenty of off-road capability.
So I real quick wanted to talk about a quirk that I found here. On this side, you know, you open the door, you're about to step in your tall truck. It doesn't have running boards, so you reach for a handle. There's no handle. But on that side, there's a handle. Why? So stepping into the interior of this $48,000 off-road beast, you're not going to be expecting much, and you really shouldn't. Everything is hard plastic. It's really not that nice. The only leather is really on the steering wheel and these seats, which are very nice. I really like this steering wheel. It has some nice stitching. It's very soft. It's nice to touch. And these seats are pretty cool, and they have the ZR2 badge on them, matching this ZR2 on the door still here. I really like that. But besides that, everything I touch is hard plastic. The audio isn't, like, these speakers are not that great. I mean, it's what it is. You're in an off-road vehicle. You're not expecting big luxury features, even though it is a steep price of $48,000, but you have features where it counts. You have a heated steering wheel, which I appreciate a ton. You have heated seats. You have very easy to follow, dual zone climate control. You know, that's very nice. So things like that I appreciate. But in terms of actual materials, it's not that great. So I wanted to talk about these buttons here. I really, really like them for one reason, and they are just so fun to click. It reminds me of the Mustang kind of airplane switches. They're not as cool, but they kind of have that nice, neat, non-traditional click to them, and I really like that because it gets boring just clicking normal buttons, as weird as it sounds. You do have some nice features. You have bed light, hill descent control, you have some towing settings here, and you have a locking rear differential and a locking front differential. That is very big, super helpful for off-roading. This thing is an absolute animal, and these are some of the reasons why. So one thing I forgot to mention earlier, but it's the first thing I noticed when I stepped into this truck, is that it is not a push button start. It is a real key, and on a $48,000 truck. That is very surprising. I would have thought, along with the heated seats and the heated steering wheel, they would have at least made a push button start, because I don't really care about the hard plastics in an off-road vehicle, but you know, it's convenient to have a nice push button start, so that's surprising. Moving along with some of the materials, just to touch on again, you know, again, you're not getting much. You have this, I mean, decent silver. I mean, if it was brushed or something, it would have looked cooler. At least it kind of matches here. But honestly, this like center part here with your gear shifter, it kind of looks tacky with this. So it looks like something you'd see in like a, I don't know, like a go-kart or like a kid's toy. I just don't like the look of this. But moving up, one thing I do really like about this interior is this infotainment. It is the new system. It is unbelievably responsive. I have never played with a system this responsive. It clicks so fast. It's pretty intuitive. The navigation is very nice. You know, I really like it. I mean, it is super responsive and easy to play with, and I respect them a lot for putting in a very snappy infotainment in this car. So looking at your center console here, you do have some analog gauges, which is what you'd expect. Everything is very basic and bare bones, and that fits the theme of this off-roading beast of a truck. You do have a nice little blue outline to the edge, but besides that, nothing is crazy. Everything is simple, and I like that. It's very straightforward, and it's very responsive. Going across some of these screens here, this first one here is very basic. It's like what you'd have when you're just normally driving around. It's the speed you're going and the fuel you have till empty, which is nice. You also have a nice compass function there at the bottom, and it shows you what gear you're in. Going along here, you have some fuel and distance information, which is very nice. One more, you'll have some basic music controls, nothing too impressive. I wish kind of the screen went along with this new infotainment. The new infotainment is super nice, and I wish they kind of updated them together, but it's all right. And then again, you have navigation to fit with the infotainment, phone, and then some basic settings. One of them that stood out to me was the speed warning. I think that's kind of neat. If you go over a certain speed, it will give you a warning. With a high power truck like this, you could get carried away and you couldn't even realize that you're going over the speed limit. So here in the back seat of this truck, you know, there's not much to say. You don't have rear vents, you know, you don't have heated seats. There's nothing really to talk about. You do have the leather seats. The legroom, you know, it's okay. It's really not that great. I'm only 5'7". If you were closer to 6 foot, you would definitely have a snug fit in here. But besides that, I like how they carried out the leather. But again, you know, not much storage at all. It is so terrible to put stuff in these sides. This is the worst door storage I've ever seen. I'll show you some B-roll. But the cup holder is literally a regularly shaped rectangle. It makes absolutely no sense. The pockets are so skinny. I hate the storage in this car. But, you know, it's what it is. Hello, my name is Brian from Chevy, and I'm only 6 years old, and I only drink out of juice boxes. So that's why I made this rectangular so I can fit my grape juice box in there, because I don't really like other drinks. I like juice boxes a lot, though.
So that's it for this 2020 ZR2 Midnight Edition Colorado. So again, you're not getting a lot of creature comforts, you're not getting a lot of the snazzy stuff you will find in maybe competitors like the Ranger, but what you are getting is that nice 2-inch lift. You're getting those nice bumpers for good approach and departure angles. You're getting that awesome suspension made for off-roading. You are getting a very capable truck. So if you're looking for luxuries and whatnot, this isn't for you. But if you're looking for a truck that's going to be very capable and there when you need it to go off-road, then this is something you should be keeping in mind. A big thanks to Kuhn Chevy Buick GMC of Clarksville, especially Eric, for letting us review this vehicle. And if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much, folks. Have a great week, and we'll see you in the next video.